Guys, good morning. Good morning. Today we are going to see about an important reaction mechanism in organic chemistry, that is Curtius rearrangement. So is there any relation between the Curtius rearrangement and heart failure? Let us look into that. Before we discuss about Curtius rearrangement, let me brief about hypertension. As per the statement of World Health Organization, hypertension is one of the silent killers in 21st century and is one of the biggest global public health concerns. Hypertension is a major contributor of cardiac complications, stroke, heart diseases, kidney failure, blindness, etc. Hypertension is one of the leading causes of premature death. A study by WHO estimates that globally 1.13 billion people have hypertension. In 2015, 1 in 4 men and 1 in 5 women had hypertension. It is well known that hypertension can increase the risk of heart disease. In our country, findings showed that people with hypertension are 11 times more likely to be affected by heart diseases. And heart diseases now became the leading cause of mortality in India. This slide shows that how the people in our country are affected by hypertension. It seems that I am deviating from the topic, the relation between Curtius rearrangement and heart failure. To get the answer, you have to wait till the end of the video. But before that, let us quickly look into the mechanism of Curtius rearrangement. Curtius rearrangement was stated by Theodor Curtius. He was a professor of Heidelberg University, and it is worthwhile to mention he was the discoverer of the hydrazine molecule and hydrozoic acid. Coming to Curtius rearrangement, it is a simple conversion of carboxylic azide to an isocyanate. In other words, it is the thermal decomposition of azide into isocyanate with the elimination of neutral nitrogen molecule. Here is the mechanism of Curtius rearrangement. It involves two steps. In the first step, there is a migration of carbon atom to displace the nitrogen gas on an adjacent nitrogen. So here it is the acyl acid consisting of 3 nitrogen, and in the first step you see the lone pair from the terminal nitrogen transfers its electron to the bond between middle nitrogen and the terminal nitrogen, and the double bond between the middle nitrogen and the nitrogen attached to the carbonyl carbon gets transferred to the nitrogen attached to the carbonyl carbon. And the next step is the transfer of R, that is the carbon, to the nitrogen, which involves the loss of neutral nitrogen gas. In the second step, there is the formation of isocyanate by the donation of lone pair of electrons from nitrogen to the carbocation. So in the first step, there is a lone pair of electron present in the nitrogen, and this lone pair is transferred to the carbocation, thereby forming a double bond between nitrogen and carbon. Hence, a stable isocyanate intermediate is formed. We have seen in our previous slide that the mechanism is a two-step process, but recent research has indicated that the mechanism is a concerted one. That means the migration of R group to the nitrogen and the elimination of nitrogen molecule take place in a single step to form the isocyanate intermediate, and this fact is supported by the absence of nitrene insertion or other byproducts in the reaction. Thermodynamic calculations also supported this concerted mechanism. So far we have seen that Curtius rearrangement is a thermal decomposition of azide, but this reaction can also carried out using light. That means photochemical decomposition of azide can also be possible, which is known as photocartious rearrangement. But unlike the thermal decomposition, this reaction involves the formation of a nitrene intermediate, and this nitrene intermediate is formed by the cleavage of N-N bond and the loss of nitrogen gas, and hence this nitrene intermediate undergo variety of nitrene reactions. In the example given below, I have shown that an azide is converted into isocyanate. Here I have used a solvent cyclohexane, but the problem is you have a 40% of unwanted side product which is formed because of the nitrene inserts into the cyclohexane solvent. So this is the limitation of photochemical rearrangement. Isocyanate is structurally resembles to carbon dioxide, in which the carbon is pi bonded to two electronegative atoms, which makes the carbon most electrophile. Hence it can undergo variety of reactions with other nucleophiles to give other useful synthetic products. If alcohol attacks this carbon, then we get carbamate. Adding an amine with this isocyanate produces urea. Adding water yields carbamic acid, which eliminates carbon dioxide to give primary amine. Here are the examples that shows the transformations of isocyanate intermediate. The lone pair of electrons present in the oxygen atom of alcohol attacks the carbonyl carbon of isocyanate to produce carbamate. Similarly, the lone pair of electrons present at the nitrogen atom of an amine attacks the carbon to form urea molecule. Here isocyanate is hydrolyzed by water to give initially carbamic acid as the product, but this carbamic acid is unstable and loses carbon dioxide to form an amine, that is the primary amine. Third Curtius rearrangement involves the migration of alkyl group to the nitrogen. Therefore, the migratory aptitude of the alkyl group is very important. Here in this slide I show that the tertiary group migrates preferentially than the secondary group, and the secondary group migrates faster than the primary group. The stereochemistry of the migrating alkyl group is also important. Here the R group migrates with full retention of configuration. Dear viewers, up to this point we have discussed a lot about Curtius rearrangement and its mechanism. Now we come to an important point, whether there exists actually any relation between heart failure and Curtius rearrangement. Let's check. And this is a substituted benzimidazole carboxylic acid, and this is actually a drug, and this drug or this medicine is known as candestyran, and it is used to treat high blood pressure and heart failure. And the role of this medicine is to lower the blood pressure and makes it easy for the heart to pump blood around the body. And this tablet or this medicine comes under the brand name Atacand. The relation between Curtius rearrangement and heart failure comes in the synthesis of this candestyran drug. Here you see there are so many steps involved in this, but actually the Curtius rearrangement is involved only in the third step, that is from second to third step. In the second step, that means the second compound 55.2, you see there is a carboxylic acid group attached with the benzene ring, and when it is treated with SO2Cl, it is converted into acid chloride, and this acid chloride is then treated with sodium azide. It forms azide, carboxylic acid, and then the carboxylic acid undergoes a rearrangement to isocyanate intermediate, which is then treated with tertiary butyl alcohol to form a carbamate. So the Curtius rearrangement is involved in the synthesis of this clandestine drug. Hence, I have put the title, there is a relation between Curtius rearrangement and heart failure. In this slide, I have put some examples involving Curtius rearrangement. Here is the first one, that is the conversion of phenyl azide into ethyl N-phenyl carbamate. The acid undergoes Curtius rearrangement to isocyanate intermediate, which is then treated with ethanol to form the product. Next is the conversion of acid chloride into primary amine. Here the first step involves the formation of isocyanate intermediate with the reaction with sodium acid, and this isocyanate intermediate is then hydrolyzed with water. With elimination of carbon dioxide, it forms primary amine. Next one is the conversion of carboxylic acid into carbamate. In the first step, carboxylic acid is converted into acid chloride, which is then converted into carboxylic azide, which is then treated with methanol to form the corresponding carbamate. Now here is an interesting example for you. So what happens if the acid is present in a ring compound? The acid is present in the side chain. Adjacent to this side chain is a substituted carbon and another one is unsubstituted carbon. Now the question is, which carbon is going to migrate to the nitrogen, whether the substituted carbon or the unsubstituted one? The answer is the substituted carbon is going to migrate to the nitrogen. So after this migration, the lone pair from the nitrogen is transferred to the single bond between the carbon and nitrogen, and the next step involves the loss of neutral nitrogen molecule, forming a 7-membered ring. So this is the structure. So when the acid is present in the side chain of a ring, there is a ring enlargement take place with the formation of an imine. Thank you, dear students, for watching this video.